Hey guys, welcome back to another episode Up and Running. Thanks for watching. Alright, on today's episode we've got a special guest. We've got the gentleman who bought this truck new, so I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be talking to him in a little bit. Alright guys, so this is Mr. Whiskers, and it turns out his dad was the one that bought this truck brand new. So tell me how you got the name Mr. Whiskers.
Well, I manufacture a fish bait, a catfish bait, and I named it Mr. Whiskers, and it wasn't very long till they stuck that name on me.
That's perfect.
You know, kids that fishing with me, and they'll look at you and they'll say, "Is your name Mr. Whiskers?" They all time did something like that.
Yeah, well that's cool.
But that's how I got it.
So tell me where this truck came from. Who in your family got it? I guess your dad bought it new, and so tell me that story.
Yeah, well, my dad and mom was coming back from Zapata, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They'd been down there for the winter, and they was pulling a little, a small camper, and they got down to Leno, coming back in, and right outside of Leno, the 64 Chevy pickup that they had was driving, caught on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got out of it and got the little camper away from it, you know, so it wouldn't catch the camper on fire. And of course, several people had stopped on the road and helping them put it out. But anyway, that's what happened. It caught on fire, and one of the guys that helped him put that one out, they went to the end of Leno, and this pickup was sitting on the showroom floor.
Right there, looking good, huh?
Yeah. My mama said, when your daddy saw that truck, he said his eyes got about that big. He was ready for it, you know.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So this is Phil, this other gentleman over here, and Phil's the current owner of the truck. So how did you come to own it, Phil?
Well, I had met Mr. Whiskers 2 or 3 different times, and just heard through the grapevine that he was getting rid of an old pickup. So I went out and looked at it, saw it, drove it a little bit, and I thought, I got to have this one.
Well, I really didn't have it up for sale. It kind of, I don't think I'd have sold it to anybody but Phil anyway.
Well, that's good.
You know?
Yeah. Well, Phil's a good caretaker because he's doing a lot of work to it. So
he is, and he said he would. And I've had some other people that looked at it, but I don't think that they would have done anything to it. Probably about as much as I did to it. But I did keep it undercover as much as I could, under parked somewhere. But it's been setting up. But I got a lot of grandkids and nieces and nephews and stuff that learned to drive in this.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what are some other stories or memories that you have of this truck through the years?
Oh, I actually, when my father died in '75, my mom drove it for quite a while, and then my brother was in the Air Force, and he thought she ought to have a smaller vehicle, so he got her a compact car, and he took this pickup, and he had it up in Oklahoma, Tulsa, with him, and he, I guess, had it about 3 years, and he called me, and he knew I'd buy a car once in a while and resell it, you know. He didn't fix to move to Colorado and need a 4-wheel drive. And I said, well, I got a little Blazer, Chevrolet Blazer, and I'll just trade with you. And he said, okay. So he brought this one down, and we just exchanged titles on it. That's how I've got it, and I've had it ever since.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But they, of course, when my dad got it, it didn't have air conditioning in it. All right, it didn't have power steering, and my dad had his arm cut off in a cotton gin, and he just had down to just below his elbow.
Yeah.
And he needed the power steering. We all thought he did. I could tell you another story about that, but we all thought he needed that, and an air conditioner. We knew Mama needed an air conditioner, and we found an aftermarket unit and put that in there for him, and a power steering, put that in there for him. And I was talking about his driving. He drove a school bus for 46 years and never had an accident. And
That's
they don't have
excellent.
power steering.
No.
And they don't, he had to reach across. It was his right arm. He had to reach across and shift the gears.
Yeah.
Well, this one was would be in a little better shape. My mom used to go to Ruidosa, New Mexico, and spend the summers over there. And I always pulled a little camper over there with this for her. And I have a nephew that went over and borrowed it from her one night. Run it up the side of the hill over there. Kind of messed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I never did get the. That was later. And I never did get it all toned up and everything, after that.
Yeah.
But
Well, Phil knows I've got a 69 Dodge Super Bee, and the family that I got it from bought it new as well.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy's mom bought it new, and when she couldn't drive any longer, she gave it to the son, and I got it from the son, and the son back in the 80s let his girlfriend drive it, and she hit a barrel on the side of the freeway, and those were the 55-gallon steel drums back then, like full of sand, so it banged up the passenger side of the car. So I know that stuff happened.
I bet it did. Yeah, I bet it did.
So Phil, what are your plans with the truck? What are you gonna do with it?
Just get it. We got it just about roadworthy right now.
Yeah, you're driving it quite a bit now.
I'll take it out on the road and I'll get it up to 60, 65.
Yeah.
And of course I got to look in the rearview mirror, but get it painted, get it to looking just about as good as it was when it was brand new.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. I'm just so glad that I'm so glad you're the one that got it.
Well,
I kept gonna do it, and going, but I had it from about 1979 or 80, somewhere along in there. It's never been in anybody's name but a Whitlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had it then, and I was going to do this to it and going to do that. When I first moved here to Granbury in 91, I was pulling my boat around with this here, and I was fishing some down at Del Rio. I was going back and forth to Del Rio.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why you had to get a new engine in it.
Yeah, probably. Probably is. Yeah. No, that's the second engine that's been in it. The first one, original one, this will be the third one, I guess. The original one, good story about it here now. They were down at Zapata, Mom and Dad were, and my mom had gone to the grocery store, and they come back where they had a little camper parked. The pickup parked right up beside it. Well, there's a little drop-off, went right into the water.
Oh, jeez.
She put it in reverse instead of park, I believe. But anyway, she didn't have it in park.
Yeah.
And it went right on off in and it just up to about the middle of the windshield. They got it out. I think they had to just rebuild the motor. I don't think it was. Yeah. It's been baptized.
Yeah. All right, good. Well, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. It was good meeting you, and I'll be seeing Phil around all the time.
Yeah.
So
as long as the money holds out.
Yeah.
That's good.
But I want to thank you guys for talking with me, and be sure to check out the video. So.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. So let's get on with more work on the truck. All right, so the last thing the customer wants, or one of the last things, is a 3-point seat belt in here. And if you look in here, there is actually a provision for that style seat belt. So all you supposedly have to do is go ahead and bolt them in, is to pop that plug out and bolt them in. So we'll see if I can get that out and get that bolted in. All right, so I pulled the seat out so we can get at these bolts mainly. I could have got at these, but the middle ones were a little bit hard. those clips actually go on the top of the gas tank, so that's why I put them back there. All right, let's get the seat belt. All right, so there, the seat belts are all in. Try not to get the glare from the light. So hopefully they work. All right, I got the seat bolted back in and the seat belts fastened like they should be. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for another episode Up and Running. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell right next to it for the notifications, and if you like the video, hit the like button. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Got a couple of tie rod ends that got a little blade in them.
Yeah.
I'll replace those.
Yeah. Well, you know, I told you my dad was just had one arm. Had his right arm cut off in cotton gin in 1931. I believe it was, yeah, 1931. And he didn't have the, this didn't have power steering in it. It didn't have air conditioner in it when he got it. But he had to have a vehicle, and he took it off that showroom floor, you know. And when he got it home, myself and my brother helped him get we didn't put it in, a power steering deal to go on it, which sure helped him, you know.
Yeah.
And then that air conditioner is one of those aftermarkets, you know.
Yeah.
And they evidently sold a lot of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a big thing back
Yeah,
then. Well, to get an air conditioning set up in the factory was probably $400 to $500, depending on what it was back then.
You know, I think you were just about. Seems to me like we give $800
Yeah.
for the whole works installed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything.
Well, why don't you stand right here, Phil, like kind of right by the mirror, and you stand right there. I'll stand in the middle. Or if you stand in the middle, I'll stand on the edge, and I'll just kind of introduce you, and I'm going to ask you the same question. I'm going to say, "This is Mr. Whiskers. Tell me how you got that nickname,"
Okay.
and then we'll go from there. All right?
Sure. Got recognition from the governor of Texas for that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let that phone ring out. Of course, the phone's always kind of right when you do this
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
you know.